Hey y'all, this is a tutorial for this simple and springtime beginner-friendly two-piece set that you can complete in a couple of hours. So let's get right into it. You'll need 2.5 yards of stretchy fabric, matching thread, measuring tape, pins, chalk is optional, scissors, clear elastic strap to add more stability is optional as well. Using your measuring tape, you'll take these 5 measurements. Be sure to be mindful of adding or subtracting the necessary inches stated on the screen. From the bottom of my neck to under my bust is 10 inches plus 3 is 13. From under my bust to my waist is 7 inches plus 0.5 is 7.5. My waist circumference is 30 inches minus 1 inch is 29. My low waist circumference is 33 minus 1.5 inches is 31.5. And I want my skirt to be 20 inches long in total. Here are some important terms. The selvage are the two ends of the fabric that are finished. The straight grain runs parallel to the selvage while the cross grain runs perpendicular to it. To begin, fold over your fabric on the cross grain and measure from the fold down that first measurement. Cut along the edge from selvage to selvage. Fold the fabric on the cross grain again using your second measurement, and your third measurement will be the width of the fabric. For the skirt waistband, fold on the cross grain and measure 4 inches down from the fold. You can make it as thin or as thick as you want, but use the fourth measurement to create the width of this waistband. To cut your skirt, fold on the cross grain once and the straight grain once. You'll have one corner that doesn't have any raw edges. That's where you'll be cutting out your waist. Make sure you do this calculation and cut your skirt after you've sewn and tried on your skirt waistband. Measure the raw edge of your waistband and that's your circumference. You'll see how to sew the waistband together in the next clip, but just remember to leave seam allowance when you're cutting out the waist of your skirt. To begin sewing, take the second piece you cut using measurements 2 and 3. You cut it on the fold, right? Unfold it. Fold right sides together in the opposite direction and sew along this side seam. Remember to use a zigzag stitch or a serger when sewing stretchy fabric. After the first stitch, fold it on the cross grain the way you cut it and try it on. The folded edge should be the bottom of the shirt. Use your measuring tape and pins to find the middle point of the piece we just sewn and the first piece we cut. Lay them with the middles on top of one another, then mark with pins on either side of the smaller piece. Sew from those pins down to the selvage to create the sleeves of the shirt. For beginners, I recommend using a zigzag stitch on a regular sewing machine instead of a serger just because it's a little bit more challenging. With right sides facing one another, insert the smaller portion of the top into the top portion. Have those raw edges pinned together, then sew them. Do your best to make sure the seam of the sleeve lines up with the side seam of the bottom portion of the shirt. Once the shirt is assembled, find and mark the middle point of the top with a pin on the folded part. Using your scissors, start cutting a slit going in both directions. It's always better to cut a little bit and then try it on to see if you want it bigger because you can't undo your cut. If you'd like this top to be as quick as possible, you can just hem this slit and then you're done. I decided to cut off a little bit of the chest just to make it a little bit lower, and also adding the clear elastic tape in order to add some stability to the top. Using the zigzag stitch or the serger, attach the clear tape to the wrong side of the shirt, then fold the shirt over once in order to finish the hem. For the skirt waistband, use the same technique from earlier in the video to create it. Make sure to try it on and confirm it fits before measuring your circumference to calculate your radius for the skirt. The ruching is optional, but if you want to make this as quickly as possible, then you can skip it. Similar to the top, I'm inserting the right side of the waistband to the right side of the skirt and pinning the raw edges together. Then once I serge them up together, the skirt is done. My favorite things about this outfit is how forgiving and simple it is, plus the fact that it's 4 quadrilaterals. Like, math is so hot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know how your make goes.